Hello, my name is Mark Waring. I'm the originator of the Walcha Energy project. It started back in 2004 when I was invited up here by a group of landholders after I ran into one of them in Sydney. It's been a long journey to get to where we are, but it's really all coming together at the moment. Winterbourne project where things first started. Now Vestas are running with that project. We're still working on all of the other aspects, which about 6 or 8 wind projects, plus a solar project at Salisbury. And also, of course, all renewable energy projects need a storage system. So we have the Dungowan pumped hydro storage as well. And what we're doing is, as part of it, is the battery storage at the Uralla hub, which is part of the scheme where a new transmission line can be built coming up from Liddell to Uralla. We selected Uralla as a good site for technical reasons many years ago, and now Transgrid and AMO have agreed with it because it's in their planning documents. As part of that, we have a proposal with the solar to have a 200 megawatt 4-hour battery at that location, and it's going to become part of what's needed for all renewable projects in the area. That firming capacity is really important. So, thank you.
Hello, I'm John Diesendorf. I'm assisting the Uralla BESS project and Walcha Energy with the Uralla hub. A brief explanation. There are 2 existing 330 kV lines that come north from Tamworth to Armidale and service the north of New South Wales. The Uralla hub is a perfect location for further connections because it's not in a built-up area or even any sort of dense rural residential. So that's good. So the plan is at the hub to bring together 2 existing 330 kV lines and also the new connections of generation in the area. The Uralla hub will be constructed in the ideal switching configuration for an electricity hub. This would not have been possible at a location such as Tamworth or Armidale, where the major substations were established as part of the fringe network to supply remote loads in New South Wales. At those sites, constraint arises when a line is out of service or a circuit is out of service for maintenance of some switchgear or the like. The Uralla hub will have a switching configuration with 1.5 circuit breakers, that is, per circuit. That is 3 circuit breakers serving 2 circuits. And with this configuration, any of those circuit breakers can be maintained without interrupting supply to any circuit. So this is the right thing for the supply to northern New South Wales. For this reason alone, it would be appropriate for the hub to be established as a grid hub and as a regulated development. However, it will also connect generators. So the combination of the 2 functions is very valuable to the national electricity market.
Hi, I'm Simon Curry, one of the directors of Walcha Energy, and I've been involved with the Uralla Renewable Energy Hub since we first conceived the hub several years ago. Just behind you is Thunderbolt's Way, which is takes you directly from Walcha. You can see in the background one of the pair of 330s which run through from Armidale down to Tamworth and on to Liddell. They're the end of the Q&I, so what connects New South Wales through to Queensland. We can't quite see the other one, which is about 10 k's away on the other side of the road. So the hub will be located over the back of South Wales Biosecurity Act in terms of going onto Terry's farm. So we have a large plot of land over the back. We've deliberately taken a very significant block which is much larger than what we'd need for the initial connections and the large-scale 200 megawatt, 4 megawatt hour battery, because the whole concept is to have a hub. One of the challenges we continue to face is to get everyone to collaborate. I have very strong views that over the last 5 years we haven't done a good job of encouraging participants in the energy sector to collaborate to reduce the cost to serve. And we're very focused on how do you deliver energy to the users in New South Wales at the lowest possible cost. If we end up with 10 substations being built from Armidale to Tamworth to connect in everyone's individual projects, that cost, that cumulative cost, will be added to everyone's bills. It's much more efficient, and this is what they've done in other states and other countries, to bring people into terminal stations or hubs where multiple people come in. You have one concrete plant. You don't need to have two concrete plants. We know it costs a lot in Australia to develop civil works. So if you can have civil works all done in one place, you can pass that cost on to the consumers. And that's one of the real advantages of having a hub. But it's also a real challenge for us because it's not what other people do. And we haven't seen these in New South Wales. There was one which was funded by the New South Wales Government, a study called the New England Renewable Hub, which was meant to be 2 wind farms up around Glen Innes. And exactly what I was saying happened. The government paid for the study, and the developers couldn't even sit in the same room as each other and went completely different ways. Okay, so an hour or so south of Uralla Hub is the Transgrid 330 to 132 substation, which is a critical substation in the New South Wales system. It's where the line that you saw before and the other line come down and then branch off and head down to Liddell. As you can see, this will hopefully give you a sort of scale on why we've got such a large piece of land at Uralla. You can see the scale of what we're looking at. So this is what there's 7 lines that come into here. So you've got the 4 330s and then 3 132s, 2 that service Tamworth and 1 that goes out to Gunnedah. But you have transmission lines going around here. It's why we've got to think very carefully about how do we integrate the new infrastructure we need and put it in the right place. There conceivably could be storage here as well on the grid. So that's something which is being considered about a large storage facility here, particularly because of all the electrons are flowing down. One thing that's important to think about with the Uralla Renewable Energy Hub is it creates a new staging point on the grid and facilitates NEST, New England South Transmission, which would go not down to here, but would go 50 to 80 kilometres to the east, follow down the ridge lines and some very unpopulated regions straight down into give an alternative way of exporting from New England directly into Liddell, so one of the key centres for New South Wales. And that's why, again, having the battery at that hub, and it will take a lot of pressure, but you can just see that this is a very, very large industrial facility at the moment. Huge amount of, hundreds of millions of dollars of infrastructure in here, and we need to work out how to utilise this infrastructure for the transition to benefit New England Res, which is one of the reasons that we've proposed the Uralla Renewable Hub and the BESS, because effectively gives you an alternative point than being completely reliant and having to then rebuild this again.